All right, guys, in the last video, we talked about GPA. So you should know how many points an A is worth, how many points a B is worth, how many points a C is worth, how many points a D is worth. I'm now going to walk you through two separate scenarios. So right here, this student has a B. This student has a B. That's 3 points. They have a 3.296 GPA. So in this case, when they have a B, should they take the letter grade and credit, or should they just take the credit? So what we want to do is take the letter grade. If it's going to up our GPA, we're going to take the letter grade and credit, right? The letter grade option. If it's going to increase our GPA, and just take the credit, just the credit alone, if it's going to decrease your GPA. So here we have a B. We take that 3 that we would get for a B and add it to our GPA, so 3.296. We're going to average those two scores together, right? Our GPA and that new score. So to average, we add them up, and then we divide by how many there are. So we're going to divide by 2. So the new GPA is 3.1. Right? 3.1 is going to bring that person's GPA down. So in this first class, if you have a GPA of 3.296 and you have a 3, that's going to bring your GPA down. So you want to just take the credit, right? If your GPA is higher than this letter that you're going to earn, just take the credit. That way, your GPA stays high. Okay, your GPA stays high, right? So if we added that B to that 3 points for a B to this GPA, it would bring the whole GPA down to 3.1. We don't want to bring our GPAs down. We want to bring our GPAs up. So we're going to not take the letter and credit. We're going to just take the credit for this class. Okay. Let's look at the next class. Here, the student has an A. Okay. So an A is worth 4 points. Their GPA is 3.296. Okay. Is that 4 points going to bring their GPA up or down? So again, we can go check it. We're going to start with 4. We're going to clear it. Okay, so we're going to start with the 4 plus their GPA, which was 3.296. That did not add because I did not say plus. 3.296 plus 4. Okay, so that's the total. We're going to divide by 2 to get their average. So if they take the GPA and the letter, their GPA, if they take for that class the letter, that's going to give them credit and the letter, their GPA is actually going to come up to 3.6. Okay, their GPA is actually going to come up with this A. So with this A, the student wants to take this class for the letter and the credit. Okay, they want to take this class for the letter and the credit. Okay, so when you look at your own GPA, you should be able to tell, right? If it's 4s, 4 point something, that means you have mostly A's. If it's 3 point something, you have mostly B's. If it's 2 point something, mostly C's. 1 point something, mostly D's, right? 0 point something, mostly F's. If it's 3 point something, you want to take any letter, any grade that's an A, you want to take for credit. Okay, if it's 3 point something, those A's are going to bring it up. If your GPA is 2 point something, you're going to want to take any A and any B. Okay, the A's and the B's will bring your GPA up. So any class you have an A or a B in, go ahead and take them for the letter and the credit. If your GPA is 1 point something, any class where you have an A, a B, or a C, that class is going to bring your GPA up. Okay, so any class where you have an A, a B, or a C is going to bring your GPA up. So you should take that class for the letter and the credit. If you have a 0 point something GPA, any A, B, C, or D, you should take that class for the letter and the credit because that will bring your GPA up. Right? Let's do the opposite now. Right? If you have a 4.0, any class that is not an A, you should only take for credit. Okay, so if you have a 4.0, if your GPA here is 4.0, you're going to not want to take any class that's a B. Right? Every single B is going to pull your GPA down. So just take those classes for credit. Take only the A's for the credit and the grade. If your GPA is a 3 something, okay, above 3.0, you're going to take any class that's a B, a C, or a D. Okay, if your grade GPA is 3 point something, any class is a B, a C, or D, you're going to only take that class for credit. Okay? 3 point something, 3.1, 3.2, any B, C, or D, only take that class for credit. If your GPA is a 2.0, right? If your GPA is a 2.0, any class where you have, if it's a 2 point something, like a 2.1, 2.02, 2 point something, any class, if you have a 2 something GPA, any class where you have a C, a D, or an F, you're going to only take that class for credit. Okay, any class where you have a C, a D, or an F, you're going to only take that class for credit. And if you have a 1.0, right, any class that you have a D or an F in, right, you're going to only take for credit. Right? Generally, if you have an F in a class, you should only take it for credit. Right? And most students, unless you have a really, really, really low GPA, okay, like a 0 point something, if you have a D or an F in a class, pretty much all the time, you should only take it for credit this year. And again, this specific conversation, we're having it this year because this just applies to remote learning, okay? Most of the time you don't get to choose. If you have put that letter grade pulls down your GPA, okay, if you get the F, you usually just get a 0. But we understand, right, that these times are really hard. And so you're being a little bit lucky just right now that you get to decide if you're going to let that F pull down your GPA or if you're going to just have that or if you're going to let that F pull down your GPA or if you're just going to take that F for no credit. Okay. All right. I hope that helps. I'm excited to help you guys again and get the grades that you want and need. Please feel free to reach out if you're struggling with any of the grades, and I can go through it with you individually, right? And I miss you all.